Mambo Team Africa Worldwide. Habari ya Asabui, Habari ya Mchana, Habari ya Gioni. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Today's topic is going to be on dating, actually, and just basically discussing whether or not African diasporans or African Americans in specific, uh, whether or not uh, dating Africans on the continent or elsewhere is a good option for us. First of all, I'm gonna let you know right now this isn't going to be a bashing session. It's not going to be uh, me putting down women, putting down women in the diaspora. It's not going to um, be um, about you know the diaspora versus the continent or about men versus women. We don't need that type of division. I don't support that type of divisions and spears and toes and all this crazy stuff that a lot of these dudes are out here doing today. Um, but I'm just going to talk about options. I've been coming to Africa since 2018, back and forth. I've taken several trips to Kenya. I think I've been to Kenya 5 times now. Been to Tanzania twice. I consider Tanzania to be my home now. Um, and I was a single man, so of course I was dating. Um, and now I'm at the point where um, I have a wife to be. I don't really like using the term fiance or engagement because I've been there before, and I don't really recognize that anymore. You're either married or you're not, So I like to say my wife to be, and I'm going to go ahead. Excuse the shake of the camera. I'm going to go ahead and manifest that and use the law of attraction to make that happen. But what one reason that I stopped dating women in the United States was because I knew that after my last really serious relationship in the U.S., uh, I knew I wanted to move to Africa. I knew I wanted to move to Africa before then, and that engagement just really like slowed me down and postponed it because even though the woman I was with who had been to Africa and was okay with visiting Africa, she was not okay with moving to Africa. And so I said, well, it would be a lot easier for me to find a woman who's already on the continent than to find a woman in the States who is willing to move to the continent. So once I started coming to the continent, I started dating women. And, people are good everywhere, people are bad everywhere. You have some very honest, loyal people everywhere, and you have liars and game players everywhere. Um, but what I will say uh, that for African Americans to date continental Africans, I think is a very good thing. I think it's a option that should be considered. I think number one, it bridges the gap. We have this either real or make believe tension between um, African Americans and continental Africans. I think it's more make believe than anything, and it's also due to lack of exposure sometimes. But there are little minor cultural differences that that might be preferred by certain people. I mean, if you are a Pan African um, from the diaspora, you probably didn't really fit in with the majority of diasporans anyway, you know. And so you probably already had some values that that the majority of Africans in the diaspora found to be odd or strange. They may have called you names that they consider to be insults, like Hotep and Shea Mother Bitch and crazy things like that. Um, but at the same time, um, we got some beautiful brothers and sisters in the diaspora. And sometimes, they, we just missed them. While you were looking over here, they were over there. And by the time you looked over there, they were snatched up, claimed and married or whatever. So, um, I would say to anybody who um, either plans to repatriate or um, even if you haven't thought about it, um, I mean, the way things are going, and Africa is a good option for living because Africa is improving, and we can help with the improvement of Africa. And I don't really have a lot of negative to say about the U.S. That's my home too. It does have its challenges, but it seems like the evil empire is crumbling. So um, I would say that if you're over 30 and you don't have children in the States and you're not attached, um, moving to Africa and finding a wife or a husband is definitely an option you should be open to. Um, because a lot of times when people are single, it's because you're having a hard time finding somebody who may be compatible with you. But when you spread your net wider, then that gives you a greater chance of finding somebody that you're compatible with. You know, um, I'm not going to say anything too controversial, but when we spread our net wide, we want it to be amongst the family, and we want it to be uh, positive in a way that we can continue to uh, grow the family, if you get what I'm saying. Um, with that being said, I just want to teach a few words that are connected to date. Um, I want to let you know that Mwake is a woman, and Wanawake is women, and Wana Ume is men. Okay. Um, um, Mume is husband, and MK is wife. Um, Mpenzi, Mpenzi, Mpenzi is like sweetheart or bae. Um, that word pen, you'll see that like PEN, but it's like a root word, which is comes from upendo. Upendo means love in general. Impendo means love in general, and Penzi means love as in my love. Um, and the way in which you would say, I love you or I like you. Forgive the noise. Detroit get on this. But anyway, gotta love it. Um, to say I love you, uh, the formal way would be Nita Pinda, Nita Pinda Wewe. But the way that it's mostly expressed, especially in music, is nakupenda. Nakupenda, 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 way way. Um, so we know that na, nina, ni means I, na means am. So we say nina is I am. And then ku in the middle of a word means you. And pinda, as I just expressed, means love. So you say nakupenda, you're saying I love you. And then wewe, W-E-W-E, means you. So when you say nakupenda wewe, then that's placing emphasis in that I love you. Nakupenda wewe. So if a person says nakupenda wewe to you, the response will be nakupenda pia. Pia means to, T-O-O, or also. So somebody says nakupenda, your significant other, you respond with nakupenda wewe. Or you can say, which is a newer thing, you can say nakupenda zaida. Zaida means more. So that would be saying, I love you more. So a person says nakupenda, nakupenda wewe, you say nakupenda pia, or nakupenda wewe pia, or nakupenda wewe zaida, zaidi. So, um, I just wanted to drop those down. If you are married and you have children, somebody might ask you, um, do you have children? And if they, in the way they ask that, they would ask uh, una una watoto. Una means you have, and watoto means children. Mtoto is one child. Wa is plural. Watoto is children. And questions in Kiswahili are statements with an inflection on the end. So, una watoto, that means, do you have any children? If you don't have any children, you would say, sina watoto. Sina, C is negative. Na means have or am. So you say sina, that means I am without. Watoto, I am without children. So if someone says una watoto or ima watoto, which would mean plural, you and your wife, and you answer sina watoto, like I don't have any children. But if you did have children, you would say indio. Ndio. Ndio means yes. Ndio. Or sometimes you might see it spelled Ndio. Ndio, um, yes. And then you would say, to say we have um, is tuna. Yep, like the fish, tuna. Tuna means we have. So you say ndio, tuna watoto. Yes, we have children. And if you wanted to be specific, just say you have one boy and one girl. Uh, the word for girl is msichana, and the word for boy, don't let me mess this up, I think is um, mvulana. Mvulana. So, and somebody please correct me in the comments if I got that wrong. And the word uh, one is moja or moya, M-O-J-A. So if you want to say we have one son and one daughter, you actually say we have one boy and one girl. So far, I've not run across the word specifically for son and daughter. So I believe you just always say boy and girl, just like a lot of people do in the southern United States. They call their sons their boys and they call their daughters their girls. If you remember the old school South from the 70s and 80s that I'm familiar with. Um, so you would say, to say we have one boy and one girl, we would say Uh, Tuna imbalana moya na um, na msichana moya. It means we have one boy and one girl. Um, let's see. Um, trying to think what else I can say as far as key Swahili word of the day or sentence of the day. I think that might be enough. Um, but to single African Americans, single diasporans, um, I say definitely cast your net wider if you've ever thought about moving to Africa. Uh, you know, one thing to be careful of, though, at the same time, like I said, you got good and bad people everywhere, and you got um, honest people, and you have scammers everywhere. Just be careful not to be scammed. If you are talking to somebody on the internet, we live in the 21st century. Video chat the person. Don't just go by a picture. You might think that's a beautiful woman, and that's actually a man. Just just trying to set you up to break you for your bread. So yeah, you always video chat, and then if they try to tell you, "Oh, I can't video chat. My phone is broken, or my laptop is broken, so I can't video chat," or some foolishness like that. Even though there's a slight possibility that might be true, it's probably not true. Just go ahead and write that person off as a scammer and block them. Um, and then, of course, you don't want to ever send money to anybody that you have that you don't know, that you haven't met in real life. You might talk to a person a lot, you know, on the internet, video chatting and stuff like that. But if you haven't really spent time, personal time in person with this person, you don't know who they are. You have no idea who that person is. So don't ever, send money, especially large amounts, um, you know, so just be careful on that because I've heard, I'm not gonna mention a particular country, but I saw a video recently about some sisters getting taken for large sums of money by brothers in a particular country. So, just be smart. Just always, the same thing I say about the streets. The same street rules that apply in America to keep you from getting jacked. You use those all around the world. For the most part, you're going to be safe. And it's the same thing about dating. Um, don't do anything, that you wouldn't normally do. Anything that normally would have been a red flag before you start dating internationally, is it's a red flag is a red flag. Use your intuition, use your instincts, use your common sense. But with that being said, we are African, and some of our brothers and sisters on the continent are very beautiful people inside and out, and we should consider them as options as opposed to some of these other options that people have been choosing, which are those options will put an end to us as a race if it keeps going on. Um, so, with that being said, I always forget to say, like the video. Please like the video. People watch the videos and won't even click like. That's an easy thing to do. Like it, share it, subscribe. Click the bell so you'll know when I put stuff up. Okay, and with that being said, Asante Sana for watching, and Kwaheri Kwasasa.